He played with one arm and scored in a World Cup final. Decades later, another player's heart stopped in front of 15,000 silent fans. For 6 minutes, football froze. Over the next few minutes, you will see athletes who faced broken bodies, disease, and deformity, yet kept playing, proving that true strength begins where perfection ends. Before we begin, take a moment to think about this. What does it truly mean to be unstoppable? Is it strength, talent, or something deeper? Sometimes, it starts with loss. Héctor Castro's journey began in Uruguay in 1904. At just 13, an accident with an electric saw took his right arm. For most people, that would end any dream of playing football. For Castro, it became a challenge to defy the impossible. He trained harder than anyone at Club Nacional, never asking for sympathy. When he joined Uruguay's national team, critics doubted him. He answered with goals. During the first FIFA World Cup in 1930, Castro scored Uruguay's first goal in the tournament, and another in the final against Argentina, helping his country become world champions. Fans called him El Manco, meaning the one-armed man. Instead of shame, he turned the nickname into pride. Later, as a coach, he led Nacional to 5 league titles. His life proved that a missing limb could not stop greatness. Now, move decades forward and cross an ocean to England. April 8, 1996. Coventry City faced Manchester United at Old Trafford. Defender David Bust sprinted into the box for a corner. In an instant, his leg collided with 2 defenders, and the sound was sickening. Both bones snapped through the skin. Even nearby players looked away in horror. The crowd went silent as doctors rushed in. Infection nearly cost him the leg. 26 surgeries followed. His career ended that day. Yet, he refused to walk away from the sport he loved. Bust became a coach and later led Coventry's community program, helping young people find confidence through football. From a lost arm to a shattered leg, we begin to see a pattern. The body breaks, but the story continues. Have you ever seen someone rise stronger after everything fell apart? Fast forward to Spain, 2011. Barcelona defender Eric Abidal faced a different kind of opponent, liver cancer. Surgery came quickly, followed by painful recovery. Still, Abidal's focus never wavered. Within 10 months, he was back in training. The moment that defined him came a year later. Barcelona won the Champions League, and as the team prepared to lift the trophy, Lionel Messi handed Abidal the captain's armband. The crowd erupted as he raised it high. Later, he told Marca, "You question every breath, every training session, but football gave me a reason to live." His words showed how courage often begins in silence. Abidal's journey reminds us that strength is not only in the legs or lungs, it is in the will to keep going. What about you? When life gets hard, what keeps you moving forward? From cancer to cardiac arrest, the next story shook the entire world. During Euro 2020, Denmark's Christian Eriksen suddenly collapsed mid-match against Finland. His teammates surrounded him while medics fought to save his life. For 6 long minutes, his heart stopped beating. Millions watched, holding their breath. He survived. Doctors fitted him with an implantable cardioverter defibrillator, a small device that regulates the heart. Most thought he would never play again. But Eriksen refused to end his story there. After recovery, he joined Brentford in 2022 and later signed for Manchester United in 2023. According to the British Journal of Sports Medicine, fewer than 5% of athletes who suffer cardiac arrest during play ever return to elite competition. Eriksen became part of that rare few. When he returned to the field, every cheer felt different. Part celebration, part gratitude. Think about that moment. Would you step back onto the same pitch that almost killed you? Eriksen did, and he did it with calm determination. His story reminded the world that survival is not just breathing again. It is finding the courage to live fully afterward. Next hero, Ian Wright grew up in South London during the 1960s, carrying a challenge most people never noticed. One of his legs was shorter than the other. It caused pain, imbalance, and an awkward gait. For a boy obsessed with football, that small difference felt huge. Running for long stretches left him limping, yet he never stopped chasing the ball. He faced rejection after rejection. Youth academies told him his body would not survive professional football, but Wright refused to listen. He worked long hours in construction, then trained late into the night on local pitches. That relentless persistence paid off when, at 22, Crystal Palace finally offered him a professional contract. It was late compared to most players, but it became the spark for everything that followed. Soon, Wright's story turned into legend. He scored 185 career goals, including 113 for Arsenal. Fans adored his energy, his joyful celebrations, and that unmistakable grin. Yet few knew the constant pain he endured, or how much effort it took just to balance himself correctly on the field. He learned to shift weight, adjust his stride, and protect his weaker leg. Every movement was practiced, refined, and controlled. So when you watch old clips of him celebrating after scoring, remember that each goal came from a body built unevenly, but powered by perfect determination. Can you imagine running toward your dream when even your body seems to pull you backward? That was Ian Wright's reality. His struggle was not sudden or dramatic. It was quiet, daily, and lifelong. But sometimes, quiet endurance speaks louder than any roar from the crowd. As we step from Wright's personal battle into the next stories, the theme remains the same. Some players fought disease. Others fought deformity, yet every one of them shared a single mission: to keep playing. That brings us to Francesco Acerbi. In 2013, while playing for Sassuolo in Italy's Serie A, he received a diagnosis that stopped him cold: testicular cancer. Surgery followed almost immediately. Most players would have taken months off, but Acerbi returned before the season ended. Then, in 2014, the cancer returned. The second fight was harder. Chemotherapy tested both his body and his mind. Doctors later said his discipline during treatment matched the focus he showed in training. By the end of that year, he was back on the pitch again. His reward came years later. By 2021, Acerbi was part of Italy's Euro 2020 squad. When they lifted the trophy, it symbolized something deeper than football. It was proof that survival itself can be a victory. While Acerbi conquered illness, another story began far from Italy, in the icy landscapes of Iceland. Aron Gunnarsson was born in 1989 with a foot deformity that made balance and running difficult. Doctors warned his parents that sports might never be possible. But through years of physiotherapy and strength work, he learned to adapt. He built muscle where his bones could not help him. That determination transformed him into Iceland's heartbeat. As captain, Gunnarsson led his nation through its golden years, qualifying for Euro 2016 and defeating England in one of football's most shocking upsets. Later, he guided them to the World Cup in 2018. After that unforgettable win over England, Gunnarsson told BBC Sport in 2016, "If you believe you are done, you are. We never believed that." Simple words, but powerful enough to carry a nation.
And before the story closes, it circles back to where it began, with Héctor Castro, the man who played with one arm, scored both Uruguay's first and last goals in the 1930 World Cup. That final strike sealed a 4-2 victory over Argentina, making Uruguay the first world champions. For Castro, it was not just a football moment. It was proof that even when the body loses something, the heart can still be whole. Each of these players carried scars that told stories of survival: a shorter leg, a missing arm, a failing heart, a diseased organ. Every mark became a reminder that limits are only beginnings. As we reach the end, one truth becomes clear: perfection is overrated. Persistence is everything. These athletes showed that greatness is not about never falling, but about never refusing to rise again. Pelé once said in his 1977 interview with Jornal do Brasil, "Talent is not what you start with. It is what you refuse to give up." His words echo through every story told here. Football mirrors life that way. Strength is not the absence of weakness. It's learning how to live and win with it. The scars, the implants, the missing limbs, all stand as proof that courage speaks louder than pain. When their bodies said no, their hearts answered, play. If you felt inspired by these stories, share your thoughts in the comments. Which player's journey moved you most? And if you believe in the power of resilience, make sure to like and subscribe Enigma Path for more real world of football.